Who cut my son's hair?
All
Me.
right, so boom. We got barber cut a child's locks off without speaking to the parents first. All right, so if y'all don't know slider cuts give out great scenarios. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if this is like real life situations or made up, but either way, it's kind of a way to like, you know, see what you would do in these scenarios and whatnot. So let me tell y'all what I would do in this scenario. Let's watch the video.
Why? You cut his locks off. Yeah, he asked me to. How can you cut a child's locks off without speaking to his parents first? He's 17.
All right, so boom, right? Y'all heard the last thing he said. So a parent is upset at his kid deciding to cut his locks off. All right, he's 17. To me, that's grown enough to make a decision. However, like, you know, as a barber, you gotta ask follow-up questions. I had many times where people came to get their hair cut, they would give a description, especially if it's a big chop, and I took their words like, you know, as they know what they talking about, cut off all their hair, and then boom, they mad at me now because it's not what they wanted. Although they described cutting their whole hair off, but this is a whole different scenario. This is a kid decided to get his hair cut off, right? The parent just mad and whatnot, which is understandable, but he's going to the barber upset. It's the child that you gotta be upset at.
He's a child! To me, if you're over 16, you're of age, you can make decisions about your hair. You're out of
16,
order.
17, same thing.
I need to speak to your boss. Why? I've done nothing wrong. You cut my son's locks off without speaking to his parents first. I really don't understand. Because he's of an age where he can make his own decisions. He was paying for it with his own money, so I don't see what the issue is. He's a kid!
And look, he paid with his own money. So, all right, he's making decisions with his own money. You cannot get angry at the barber for that, right? Why am I in trouble? I mean, although I'm gonna be considerate. If you come into me upset, I'll be understanding. And I'm not gonna feed into that energy. I'll be very, like, you know, calming down the situation. And I understand where you're coming from. Whether you're right or wrong, I understand your point of view. But you shouldn't be yelling at me because he made a grown decision. All right? I would ask a lot of questions again to make sure they're sure. Even let them do the first cut. That's a trick. If they do the first cut, they're serious.
He doesn't know what he's thinking. Look, I think you need to speak to your son because he's the one who made the decision. No, you should have spoken to me before you made the decision to cut off his hair.
Bruh, that's hard, bruh. Cause I don't know if I would really be like, yo, let me call your parents up, right? That could be.
You cut his locks off.
That could be a little, I don't know, son. I mean, that's a good thing to keep in mind. If they're young and everything like that, ask if their parents know that they cutting their hair off, and like, you know, if you got that in you to be like, yo, let me talk to your parents and whatnot, then go ahead and do it. What's the worst that could happen? Not making a mistake, you know? So yeah, that's my idea of how this goes and whatnot. I have done big chops and people was upset, all right? I misinterpreted their description. Never misinterpreted. They told me to cut it off, but they didn't really mean cut it off like low and whatnot. Anyway, everybody goes through that scenario. Hopefully you've seen this video so you know what to do in this scenario so you don't gotta make that same mistake. Peace.